All right. Well, we started the Twitter poll, and to be honest, this is what I planned on doing next anyway, or this was what was down the pipeline. So, before we get into the upcoming faction, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, we're going to get into a little bit of Shade's lore. Just a little bit, before we introduce this faction. The background of this faction is that they are from what is known as a Haven realm. Now, this is a realm, a world that is made completely artificially for shade mages. These are worlds that have enchantments against having the shade taken out of it, so that it doesn't die. It's protected by other shade mages, so that it can remain intact. And the realm that we are hearkening back to is what you see before you. It's called Orion, and it is a Aether realm. This is a realm that is heavily based in the Aether dominion, which is something that is illusory, something that is based on flight and knowledge. And just a bit of the lore on Orion is that it is a realm of, as you can see, open skies and dark starry splendor. To travel this realm itself is an act of will rather than an act of physical exertion. You can travel up, down, and across the realm, essentially fly through it as you wish, across various platforms and terraces, and with suspended towers that gleam in the endless sky that is Orion. And traveling in this realm is mechanically different in the game as well. It requires, it's based on your perception score rather than your actual physical movement in the game. Now, all the things about Haven Realms is they're generally headed by shade mages, very powerful shade mages, who have accumulated the power to make a realm, make a world. That's what they're doing. These shade mages are known as administrators, and the first of which is named Marzuk, the Eye of Orion, and he carefully curtails what each individual on Orion sees and has access to. Newcomers to Orion will generally only be permitted to a single large platform for processing and surveillance. The more they exhibit trustworthy behavior, the more platforms they will have unlocked to travel to. Marzuk has also omniscience over the realm of Orion. And the thing about Marzuk is he is very inquisitive. He even hosts the Evil Yaniv, the shade suckers of the game. The second is Phasma, who is the Lord of Illusion over Orion. And last but not least is Switcher. He is the Lord of Space and Inertia on Orion. And it's by the magic of Switcher that everything travels in, through, out, and around Orion and in between the many platforms. Now, one particular note is that your freedom on Orion is based on your perceived worthiness, of course. And an interesting item of note is that on Orion there's one human shade mage who is forever banned, and that is the artificer Nikola Tesla, who in this world is a shade mage of great renown and power in industry. But we're not talking about any of them, because another aspect of Orion is a little faction, or a little creature called the Birds. These are the Birds of Orion, and their job is to be the eyes and ears of Marzuk throughout the Empire. Did I say Empire? I meant realm. the entire realm. These little creatures, these birds, were essentially servitors. They were slaves. They were creatures that were completely made for the subjugation of Marzuk and his will, his machinations. These were his little spies, his little go-to men. And but then something changed. Something unexpected happened. Within the realm of Orion, there was a natural-born citizen of Orion who took some umbrage to the treatment of the birds, a maverick, if you will, who also became a shade mage. Growing up on a haven realm is, of course, a very rare privilege in the Shades of Dominion, but it does happen. These are worlds, of course. There is reproduction, there's industry, there's commerce. They're not just places for your characters to rest. Wink, wink, and nod, nod. And there is an individual who grew up on this realm who took some action of his own, and that is a young hacker named Chelon Chusk. And through his machinations, he somehow magically was able to hack into all of the infrastructure and code of the birds and set them free. That's the lore. Chelon Chusk, this little young hacker here, was able to hack into the birds, get their code, and set them free. And that is how you get the birds of this setting. These are now playable characters, and they will have a faction, they will have their own spells. Except they don't look much like this anymore. No, they look a little more like this. They've grown. With their sentience, they decided to take on a more humanoid shape, something a little less dependent. Now, you will get these variants over here, these shall we say, original models. But mainly, they do try to take on a more humanoid appearance now that they have their freedom. And that's sort of what the birds are. They are a revolutionary act that has sort of gone awry. And now the birds are free to do as they wish. They are able to give whatever information to whomever they wish to give it to. Chelon here, this young anarchical mad genius, really did it just for the lulz. And Marzuk is not happy about it. So we have this shade mage causing a ruckus on Orion, and we have the birds helping, assisting, and providing cover for him, while at the same time serving their own interests. And a little more lore about the birds is they are cybernetic avians, and they specialize in the powers of illusion, stealth, and surveillance. Their attributes are both illusion and knowledge, so they can pretty much dictate what your environment looks like, and they can choose to give and inspire and be able to help you with that which you know, help you get your spell battery rolls done. And they were given freedom by the dynamic Chelon Chusk, and they now get to choose when and how to use that freedom. And that is the birds. Oh, spells. Of course, spells. The basic spell for a bird is to create more little birds. Like this. They can make their own birdie minions and choose to raise them. Obviously, as artifacts, they can't reproduce naturally. So they create better models. And they usually start small, and then they do upgrades. They do, what do you call it? When it's called an upgrade, right? A new model, a new version, as it were, a new and improved. So those are the birds in the Shades of Dominion, and they're going to be a hilarious faction to play and to be able to role play with as well. So that's a little fun lore for you. I thought the fans would like this one. So go out there and let's play with the birds. Also, follow, like, and subscribe. And in the link below, join me for some shenanigans with the birds on Twitter. Again, my profile is below. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.